your drugs being delicious is a bad.
As I'm saying, it's risky.
It's a bad thing.
But at least these are super. Like it's herbal. Worst thing that happens is you.
Yeah, it's not like
poop
delicious
yourself.
acid tabs.
That's dangerous.
Well,
That would be dangerous.
I had delicious creatine.
Oh,
Okay.
so
yeah,
have
we
we
do too.
So
but luckily, those have very little creatine in them.
well,
Usually.
I had a bunch of weed, so I was starving, absolutely starving, and I'm just like, take a couple, 5 grams. I'm like, okay, I'm good.
Is
Like,
the gummies?
Yeah,
Creatine gummies?
I'm like, 10 grams. I was, watching TV. Then I'm like, 20 grams preload. Okay. Well, I ended up taking 120 grams. I woke up the next morning, like dehydrated, like you wouldn't believe.
Thank you, brother.
I had a date the next day, man. There was a girl that was like a girl that I'd been chasing for years, and I finally had started dating her, and she asked me to be her Valentine. And so I was going to go downtown San Jose. I had a hotel, and I woke up the next morning. I'm like, I can't move. I can't fucking move. And so I hit her up. I'm like, face all pushing the pillow. I'm like, yo, baby, I'm going to make it, but I got fucked up last night, and not from alcohol, from just getting high and not taking creatine gummies seriously. went to the doctor, got like 2 liters of an IV and just a bunch of vitamins and rallied. So,
well, I'm curious what creatine gummies you were taking, because most creatine gummies, when tested, have virtually 0 creatine in them, because we were buying these creatine gummies and just throwing them back. And probably what we thought would be 100 grams, and there was nothing in there, which is very depressing. So I want whatever creatine gummies you have.
I'll send you a link.
Send me the link.
Because it was
those have creatine.
So real. It was so real. And it's like, they shouldn't taste that good.
No.
Like biotin gummies was the first time that I had like medicine gummies.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, I went down a gummy rabbit hole where like every supplement I took was just gummies. Like my breakfast
like
is
50
just
grams
candy.
of sugar before, because it has like trace amounts of sugar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tons of
So many
sugar.
gummies.
The I take Hims
Mhm.
for hair loss because I was losing my hair due to all the stress that I was having, dancing with the devil and such. And I always forget to take my vitamins, but they taste like orange Tic Tacs.
Wow.
So I never forget. It's my morning treat.
Mhm.
It's great. Yeah. And my hair started growing back. Like, are we recording?
Yep.
We are technically.
Oh,
We'll do a slow roll in.
Yeah.
So we've just rolled into this podcast.
Well, I had a bald spot on my head. One, from the stress of everything I went through in Costa Rica, and then 2, trying to stop a 98-pound Latina from murdering me. And she ripped out my hair.
Oh, shit.
And and in the place that I was already thinning. And so like every time I looked in the mirror, I like see that bald spot, and I'm just like, fuck. And so yeah, I started taking the modafinil. No, that's different.
Finasteride.
Yep.
Finasteride,
Minoxidil.
minoxidil. Modafinil is amazing as well.
Good
It's,
for focus.
It's amazing for focus. It's without the jitters.
Mhm.
It's great. Like you can.
It's a non-stim. I think it stops the reuptake of dopamine and some other things.
Yeah.
So it keeps it more present. So it's like a non-stim ADHD medication.
Yeah. And it's great. Like it doesn't give you the jitters. It just stops you from being tired and allows you to like really focus. They have it in Costa Rica over the counter.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
Ooh,
it's
nice.
great. It's very hard to find out here.
And it's supposed to be very low addiction, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, but it's awesome. There was one time that I was taking some like Advil or some type of like anti-inflammatory, and it came in a very similar package as the modafinil, and so I took 4, and I was like, oh no, trying to make myself throw up, just gagging myself, and I couldn't throw up. That's what happens when you intentionally deaden your gag reflex, I guess. That's a joke. I didn't do that. I just couldn't throw up.
Listen, whatever you say at this point, I'm like, yeah, I believe
Yeah,
it.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
you got to be real clear if you're going to be sarcastic, because
Yeah.
I'll just believe
Yeah,
whatever
just hold
you
up
say
a
at this
sign.
point.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm like, I guess I'm on this ride. Like, I called poison control like for the first time in my life, and then I was just like laying in my bed, just like waiting for it to kick in. But it wasn't like taking like 120 milligrams of Adderall,
Totally, yeah.
or which like my heart would explode.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so it ended up being pretty safe. So like, thank God.
Mhm.
But I got so much work done over the next 48 hours. You wouldn't believe it. So
Yeah, I have a client. She doesn't like the stim ADHD medication, so she takes that. And then her husband, he's an entrepreneur and does all kinds of wild shit, and he uses it all the time for just performance enhancement with just meetings and getting work done and whatever. And it's like totally fine.
yeah, it is a performance enhancing drug.
Yeah.
For sure. It's and then the theanine. If you like take any type of like stimulant with theanine, it kind of it takes the edge off of it, and that's a really good stack.
Yeah, that's good.
Even caffeine theanine stack is really good for focus.
That's what I was thinking. We could put. That's what my thought yesterday.
Theanine in the Kana.
Yeah.
I was thinking the same.
Yeah.
Well, Spencer, real quick. Before we were recording, we were talking about the intention that you had for this episode before you got here, Brent. And Spencer has apparently been sitting on a topic for about 15 years.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
That he wants to deep dive into. And it's the topic of evil, which stands for every villain is lemons.
Okay.
If you remember that from SpongeBob.
Oh, no. I
Yeah.
never watched SpongeBob.
Wow, you missed out.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
So I don't even think we need much of an intro because you're back for the second episode, back by popular demand.
Yeah.
And I want to just give you the wheel and you take this where you want to take this, and Brent and I will jump in at certain points, but I want to know what you have to say about the topic of evil.
Well, yeah, I mean, let's first like kind of define like what it is, right? And before I share this, like when I give like the frameworks of how the universe works and how conscious creation happens, a lot of people will challenge like, well, that's not real. It doesn't matter whether it's real or not. And I get this a lot when I talk about religion as well. It's like, well, is the story of Jesus true? It actually doesn't matter. It's frameworks of the mind to help you be able to function and discern. And in the ethereal world, which I call the fourth dimension. The fifth dimension is God, universe, everything that is. The fourth dimension is the ethereal world. The
DMT land.
Yeah, DMT land, exactly. And this is where your thoughts and your emotions live. This is where Wi-Fi lives. We know it to be true. We can see the effects of it, but it's not tangible, right? Like, can't see Wi-Fi, but you can definitely experience its effects. And it's the same thing with the ethereal world. And in the ethereal world, there's two categories of creatures. There's angels and there's monsters, or demons as some call them. I just refer to them as monsters. And the functionality and the purpose of each is angels are ethereal beings that consume and grow through positivity, joy, love, and that's how they get bigger and ever more present. And then you have your monsters, and they actually are sustained through pain. And every human has a council of monsters and angels that oversee them. Very similar to the way that we have pets, right? You don't own your dog, but you're the caretaker. You're the overseer, and just the same as we can see things that our dog can't, the ethereal beings can see things that we can't. And it's mainly based around time. So when your dog goes and runs in the street to go chase his ball, the dog can't anticipate the future like humans can. We could be like, oh my God, don't go out there because a car might come. Dogs can't see, they live in the present time. We can anticipate the future. And what monsters and angels have is they have the ability to see 3D time. And 3D time is seeing all of the possibilities and then the potentialities of those possibilities. And so the intention of each of these beings is to provoke love and to provoke pain. And monsters have a very useful position in your life. It's actually when people talk about slaying their demons, I really want to push back against that. Like they're required. Like all that evil is a tap on the shoulder of your consciousness saying, "Hey, something's got to change here." But the thing that I've always contemplated is, are there some people that are inherently born evil?
Yeah.
So I'm curious to what your guys' opinion is on that.
Ever watched? It's maybe not their soul is evil, but the wiring is so fucked up that they, as in a human incarnation, are evil. For example, if you've ever watched the interview tapes of the Iceman, the guy who was one of the mafia's like most famous hitmen, and he talks about his childhood and when he first started get into killing people, and just how like someone would just like rub him the wrong way, and he would just get this insane rage, and he would just kill him. And so then he started working with the mafia because he's just like, that's just kind of what I can do. And it's interesting in the interviewing, and the interviewer says something just a little, and he's like, you can see his eyes, and he's like, right there, I kind of want to kill you right now. And so like that guy can't be in society. Like you can't fix that guy. And so that's evil. But when he leaves his body, I don't think his consciousness is evil, because when he was growing up, he was in super fucked up shit, and the wiring just got all fucked.
What about you?
I don't think you're born evil. I think, to your point, Brent, the guy had a fucked up childhood. And if we remove the fucked up childhood, he might have had a very different upbringing.
Totally.
And it's probably a blend of nurture and nature. Like he probably had some shit in his brain that was a little crossed. You add that onto a fucked up childhood, you get the Iceman. Because some people can have a fucked up childhood and become an angel. Whereas someone can have an incredible childhood and still grow up to be the fucking Iceman. So there's no guaranteed formula for becoming an evil adult. But I don't think any baby newborn is necessarily born with an inherently evil attitude. And I also think evil is also it's a spectrum, like good and evil. And we could go down the rabbit hole of defining what those actually are. I think even with the Iceman, there's a level of the action that he commits that we would define as evil. He might not even perceive it as an evil thing. Like it could be all based on his perspective of this is actually better for society. He thinks he's doing good. Like look at every, villain in every movie. They think they're doing the good thing. They don't think they're evil most of the time. Sometimes in like older comics, they know they're evil. They're like, ha. But nowadays it's like, I'm trying to save the world from something else. Thanos, evil, trying to kill half the people. But he just wants to save the world from overpopulation. So to him, he's not evil. So we are putting this label on somebody as evil. Anyways, deep tangent, but I don't think people are born inherently evil. I think there's an equation, nurture plus nature, that would probably create evil. And then even then, the definition of evil is subjective.
Yeah. So I used to think the same thing. All people were inherently born good.
I don't think that either. I think they're born neutral.
Interesting. So in my experience, where I'm at right now, and I'm always open for my mind to shift.
Totally.
Where I'm at now is I do think that there are some people inherently born evil. And what I mean by that is that what sustains them is the pain of other people. They actually enjoy it. And over the past 15 years, actually over the past 20 years, I have, when I've seen evil, intentionally engaged with it to really understand its function, to steal its secrets, and then give it to the righteous to protect them from their ways.
Robin Hood style. And after my final dance with the devil in Costa Rica, I had made a decision that I'm no longer going to intentionally go in and observe the playbook of the devil, because after my last encounter
with a dark soul, I realized that there's really not a whole lot left to learn, because the monsters are ethereal beings that do not have free will. They are much like animals are built to be a certain way. A lion can't choose to be vegetarian.
Primal.
It is the way
Instinctual.
that they're just instinctual. They're wired this way, and which then brings a philosophical question, like a lion eats through murder. So like, is that evil? You see, if you watch a lion kill a gazelle, it's nasty, it's brutal, and you feel bad. You almost want to interfere, and you'll see things online where people are trying to like interfere with an eagle killing a fox or whatever. It's like, no, that's just the way that it goes. And if you take on the belief that there is an inherent evil, then the way that you interact with it is different. Because if you believe that people are inherently good, then what I would go in as an alchemist, as a healer, as a conscious creator is like, let me help bring you back home to goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Only to find that their home is actually evil.
Mm-hmm.
And so to change them would be to alter God's design, which I don't know what more of a sin there is. You know what I mean? Which is why I'm like, okay, I'm no longer going to attempt to save people from that, because there are some people that are dark.
And they're trying to lure you in to get you to help them. Sometimes just straight up fucked up people are like, they can play a game to kind of manipulate you into trying to get them, for you to heal them. And that's part of the evil fucked up shit. And then you're in some kind of weird situation.
And the thing is like, the more powerful you are, power is objective. It's just an amount of force. And you are a force of good. And the evil touches you and it polarizes that force into evil. If you think of that, if that negative energy is food for them, then, and you are a powerful, loving being, well, if they can turn you evil, it is a delicious feast. And they're coming for you. And I think that this is why I have attracted so many sociopaths and narcissists and people with BPD, bipolar, narcissistic personality disorder, histrionic personality disorder, because by nature I am a loving being and a strong force. And it's like, well, if I can get him, well then what a delicious feast. And sometimes it goes too far, and sometimes there I don't think as many people are inherently evil as like you may think, if that's what you perceive, but it can consume you. I had a friend that was from Canada, was in his 40s. He wanted to be the Prince of Chicago. Never really had the, attention of women, or was, the popular kid. And over the course of like 6 months, he became the man. And I'm helping, orchestrate all this. I remember asking him, he's like, I want the full package. And I'm like, the full package? He's like, yes. I'm like, okay, sell your house in the suburbs. We're going to buy you a place in the right part of the city. Sold it, got the place in the city. And one of the things that I warn him against it is like, as you start to rise as like a conscious creator, you become a target for dark forces.
Oh, totally.
And he did. And there was a beautiful woman. She was 26 years old. Her name was April. And I remember he had met her, and over the next 14 days, like they were always together. She started coming to work with him. She started attending our business meetings, and then she started like the manipulation. And I was like, hey man, like careful. Like I see where this is going. They end up getting into fights, and she starts threatening him, and And she was genuinely dumb, like a dumb person. And I'm like, buddy, I think your girl's retarded.
It's a hard conversation to have with your bud.
She was just so hot.
That's tough.
If you've ever seen like on Arrested Development, where do you guys ever watch that show?
One of my favorites.
Yeah, Charlize Theron. She's retarded, and Michael doesn't know, but just because she's just so hot. And
she's British, so he just thinks it's British stuff.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, she ends up. They get in a fight. And he's from Canada, and he's got a green card, okay, or a visa or whatever. And she says, "I'm going to call the cops and tell them that you've got drugs in your safe.
Oh fuck!
And I'm going to get you deported." And so he calls me up. I'm chilling on a Tuesday. Calls me up. He's like, "Go to my house now and go clear the safe out and get everything out of there." And like it was an emergency call. And so I go there, I get the drugs, I get rid of them, and allegedly I remove them from the place, and I'm like, dude, this girl is dangerous. This girl is dangerous, and he's like, but she didn't call the cops, and I said, that's worse. This is black magic. Black magic is she put a thought in his head that I'm going to call the cops, got him to emotionally respond to all of that without taking the action of calling the cops and the responsibility. So saying one thing and doing another, opposite of integrity, like that's a play that monsters use.
Yeah, if you're going to do a threat, at least follow through with it. If you're going to be an evil bitch, be an integrity-driven evil bitch.
Right. And so these are some of the plays that monsters use in order to manipulate, which is give you the illusion of a certain truth. Meanwhile, another truth is actually the thing that's real. And so this goes with gaslighting and lying, and the one thing that evil hates is the truth. And so with some of the evil beings that I've been in contact with, one of the things that you can tell that it's like, okay, this person's in it, is they refuse to observe objective truth. And they and when you bring it to them, they freak out. And so I had one girl that had she was a Latina of Honduran descent, and she would accuse me of things in my life that were the most irrefutable. So if she'd have been like, "Oh, like you're a loser in business," it's like, I've failed in business before, or something like that. No, she accused me of being violent. I've never even been in a fight with a guy. She accused me of being racist. Half my family is black, and I've grown up in mixed neighborhoods my entire life, and I only exclusively date girls of color. And then she also accused me of being gay, which I was a professional dating and sex expert, professional playboy for
a good cover, if you ask me,
for 10 years. And I was like, if I wanted to suck a dick, I'd suck a dick, and we'd talk about it. Like
you're like, I don't have a problem. Like if I was gay, I would just I'm fine being gay.
Right. Yeah. Totally fine being gay. I mean, I straight up told my mom that I was going to start dating in triads. Like, and she said to me, she's like, that is dangerous. And I said, that's exactly why I'm doing it. Because I was fascinated by the exponential complexity of the dynamics of three people. If between me and you there are 10 decision points, well, then there's 10 times 10 decision points where opportunities to go wrong. We had a third. This is non-sexual, by the way. That it would
for now.
It doesn't double. It's now there's 1,000, and so it gets very complicated. But she would accuse me of being gay. There was a time that that I was at my house. I had a roommate at the time, and we're talking in the kitchen, and she storms off. She like furious at me. And so like I follow her into the bedroom, I'm like, hey, what's up? And she's like, he's sending you signals. He's sending you signals. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, he put his hand in his pocket. You know about this?
No.
Yeah, me either. Like she's like, that's a universal signal of like, let's fuck. And I'm like, putting your hand in a pocket. And I mean, this was so real for this girl that I was gay and that the hand signal. And so like, I mean, freaking out. I should show you some videos after this, but freaking out, screaming, neighbors calling the police, like high level stuff. And so I would be like, okay, let me get this straight. Here's what you think is happening. And this is like where like you bring up the truth to see how they respond to it. I'm like, so you think tonight, after us making love, while you're sleeping, I'm going to tap your shoulder and be like, you up? Okay, cool. I tiptoe into his room, slowly open his door, suck his dick like crazy, swallow the cum, wipe off my face, and then slowly go back into the bedroom. Meanwhile, you're sleeping, and then you wake up the next morning none the wiser. As I'm like going through this like detailed scenario, like you can see their brains fucking like firing. Like they want to live in the lie because it's so real for them. But the thing is like monsters live in the shadows of your language, of your mind. So one of the things to like test is like, is someone being just like triggered or unreasonable, or is this something that's just like truly dark that will never be resolved?
Can I interrupt with a question?
Yeah.
So do you think that this woman is evil, or to me, it seems more like a mental issue? And I agree with the monsters. The monsters are potentially like living in her head. It's like, is she evil, or is there something in her that's evil? Is she the same as the evil, or is she consumed by something else?
For this one, I think that she was consumed by something else. I think that for her, and just understanding her story, that there was deep trauma and some probably generational trauma as well. I think deep down she was good, but I don't think she's fixable.
Yeah.
And that's my question to you guys as well. Like, I remember speaking with another dating coach friend of mine, and he had broken up with a girl that had BPD, and he's like, new standard, no more girls with mental health issues.
Totally.
So does this mean that they should be isolated, alone? Like what does that mean? Because like, if it's, I don't want anyone with mental issues in my life because they're not fixable, what does it mean for that person?
I don't know. So the interesting thing is like, the evil, are they born or not? But there's definitely people, you have to, and I think there's a lot of people that don't realize, especially a lot of, I think, women that don't realize there's just evil people out there and monsters, and they get in relationships with people, or guys do. And that's BPD, like BP.
Yeah, borderline personality disorder.
Yeah, like that's one of those things that if you learn about it, or you've been around somebody, it will fucking wreck you. So it's just like a hard no. So yeah, what do you do with that person? I think some people, like, like you have free will if you want to go for it, but I think in general you probably should just not engage with that. But I don't know what do they do? Maybe they date another narcissist. Maybe you have a dating app that's just for BPD and narcissists and sociopaths.
It's called BPD DTF.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a really tough question that you pose. What do you do with that section of society? Because they're human beings and they deserve love at the same time. And there's the like,
you make them sex workers.
Boom, done. And great
because
sex workers they will be.
They're great at
sex
sex.
is incredible.
It's actually not a bad idea, Brett.
Yeah.
It's good problem solving. So, like, there's the side of me that wants to love and support everyone, but then there's the logical side that goes, well, Darwinism. Like, we're going to choose the strongest and the fittest, and with free will, we're going to decide what we want. Because I also dated someone with BPD and narcissism and all that, and I made the same call. I said, never again. Never will I date someone if I see any symbol of this, any signal of this early on. And it served me well up to this point. So, and I think that's something that most men need to learn is like, you have to learn from your mistakes. And like, if you go through the gauntlet once and you don't want to do it again, then you have to hold that hard line to just not do it. But then, yeah, what do you do with the people that have those disorders? Because they do need love. So maybe it's just a shedding of society, which is really unfortunate to say. Like, as society evolves, then that doesn't continue to breed.
What is that show? Dating on the Spectrum or whatever? You do something like that. You have matchmakers that match that kind of group of individuals with their special
for our entertainment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great show.
I think it's called Love Island.
Yeah.
You know,
Actually.
Right.
Yeah, actually.
So, okay, so
what do you have a solution to it?
Well, I tend to think about like in terms of making, like, having good discernment, wise choices, and I look at it at scale. So if everyone behaved this way, what would society look like? Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's say that it is like you shouldn't date someone with BPD. I have never in my 12 years of being a dating coach, I've never seen it work out. Never.
Yeah.
Okay. So does this mean, like, if we're being honest with them, saying, hey, you have a mental health issue, your genes should not be reproduced, you should not have children, and you're not fit for any type of romantic relationship. So you see what I'm saying? Like, what does this mean on a societal level? If we're truly giving this advice of don't be with people with mental health disorders, where does it leave those people? Do we? Is it like, do we treat them like we treat criminals?
Put them on an island?
Yeah, put them on an island. Let them duke it out. Does it mean they're not worthy of love? Now, love is I love you because you exist. Okay, but I'm talking about like intimate love. Because if it's like, hey, I've got advice for everybody here, do not be with these people, then what I'm saying is that they're not worthy of deeply connected romantic love. In like, when I think about it on a personal level, okay, yeah, never again, not for me.
Yeah, but at scale, it doesn't work.
But but is that cruel? Is it moral? Right? Because that's how I discern the morality of it. There's a difference between personal choice and like, this isn't right, because what I found that it did to me is that I was raised in a very loving family, of which I can't really imagine someone wanting to hurt me. My parents have the most incredible relationship that I've ever seen. I was always safe. I was always heard, always listened to. I was taught to always forgive, to love like Jesus would. And I found that got me really, really hurt. Mm-hmm. I had one girl in Costa Rica, beautiful girl, inside and out, very sweet. Dated her for a couple years, and after COVID, went out there, came back for a few months, actually moved to Austin. She gives me a phone call. Hey, I'm having a baby. Did I tell you guys this one? Uh-uh. And I'm like, okay, awesome. So I'm like looking up on the internet, like, what do you do when you knock up a girl in another country? Could only find how to get out of it, not actually how to take personal responsibility. I was excited to be a dad with this woman. And so I got rid of my place in Austin, got rid of my place in Chicago. Within 14 days, I'm in Costa Rica. Get a beautiful penthouse on the ocean, and like talking to the baby through her stomach, you know, shouting inside of her pussy, being like, "Hey baby, I love you." And we end up going to the doctor. And he's like, yeah, her progesterone levels are up, her resting heart rate's high. So I'm a little concerned. And I'm like, a woman giving birth, like, that's all normal stuff. He's like, well, if she were pregnant, I wouldn't be worried. I'm like, you didn't tell me you were pregnant? She's like, oh, I forgot. I'm like, if you stub your toe and you come to the doctor, you tell me you're pregnant. So we do a test. Negative. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, this is the worst thing another human being has ever done to me. And so I get up and I leave. I storm off. I go home. I actually had a workshop that I had to do, so I showed up because I'm a professional and did the workshop, and didn't know where she was. She was actually in another like wing of the house. And then and so like I'm like texting her like, where are you? Where are you? And I'm like preparing the house because like shit's about to go down. Turns out she comes out of like the other bedroom and she's like, don't leave, grabbing onto me. I'm like, do not touch me, do not touch me. Then she starts going into the kitchen, starts opening up all the drawers. I'm like, what you looking for, baby? Because I know she's looking for the knives. Well, the knives were hidden because this ain't my first rodeo. You know what I mean? Like I've, told you I exclusively date Latinas. She goes into the bathroom.
No sharp objects in the house.
Yeah, no, absolutely. She goes into the bathroom, grabs a razor blade, goes to cut her wrists. And I grab her hand that has a blade and she squeezes it. Now she's bleeding all over the place. Now I'm a gringo in a foreign country with a bleeding Latina, and I'm like, I need witnesses. I don't know what the laws
this
are.
is getting worser by the second.
This gets better or worser.
Yeah, much worser.
Yeah, much worser.
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 Yeah,
So-
worsest.
I'm on the 4th floor. I grab her. She's screaming, flailing. I bring her down to security. I get her down in front of me. I got my legs like wrapped around her, and I'm like holding her wrist. She dropped the blade at this time, and I'm telling the guy to call the police. Meanwhile, I'm realizing like I got a meeting in 5 minutes, so I'm calling my manager. On the other hand, I'm like push all my calls back, because I'm on time. I'm a man of integrity. And I call my one friend that I have there. Police come, ambulance come. They say she's not injured enough to go to make her go to the hospital. Meanwhile, she's screaming, "My baby's dead! My baby's dead!" She's telling me that the baby died and she didn't have the heart to tell me. So we go upstairs. Security comes. I got my friend. We go upstairs. So I'm like, hey, look, like you gotta go. And she's like, please forgive me. I'm like, I can forgive you, but like you need to leave. And so she goes, she's like, I have to go to the bathroom, goes to the bathroom, pulls her pants down, won't come out. And she knows if she's naked, the other two guys like can't come in. So I'm in there like trying to pull her pants up. And I've never worked so hard to put a woman's pants on. It was a very upside down situation. And so like we eventually like take her out. And my buddies kind of like got her in a come along, like not hard, but like, and she gets out of it and starts running on the balcony and goes with full conviction to jump over the railing. And I'm not saying like she's holding on being like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. No, this was
Full commitment.
Olympic level triple jumper, and she's 2/3 of the way over. I grab her and I bring her down and I save her and I give my buddy some money, like, hey, take her back home. 6 months. So I do a podcast on this. 6 months later, I get a message on Facebook. Hey, my name's John. You don't know me, but I was also her boyfriend. What you don't know is she was with me when she came down. And prior to us moving in, she said that her sister's boyfriend came in and assaulted all of them. Not true. She pulled a gun on this dude and also told him that she was pregnant. And he's like, she was never pregnant in the first place. And then, yeah. And then she finds out that he found out that I found out about him. And then he's like, hey, I got to call you back. I don't hear from him from a couple days. She ended up trying to stab him. And like, again, a situation like this girl, I don't think wasn't inherently evil. I think she was young and dumb. But again, like there were some warning signs that I saw, and the way that I was trained as a child was to love and forgive. And like, when is that not the MO, right? Well, like when is the time for someone to where you're like, no, like you're done, right? And these are the things that I've struggled with, because still to this day, I don't hate her, like I get it. Like her past was dark. Like her stepdad murdered her brother in his sleep.
Wow.
her mom killed herself and she's the one who found her. Like I understand. But again, like what do you do? Like these are the things that I don't have.
My main thing is there was a girl I was dating in Seattle. She was super hot, and I hadn't dated someone in a while, and I was like, let's just see if I can do it. Let's see if I can pull it. And it took me a lot of work, a lot of time went by, and I finally did it. And I remember we were hanging out, but she started to tell me a lot about her childhood, and she told me growing up, she discovered that her dad was actively cheating on her mom, and she told her mom, and her mom told her, you can't tell your dad, and made her hold that secret. And her mom would actively tell her, you can never trust men, they're all trash. And then I was like, have you ever done any work on any of that? No. And I was like, okay, I'm going to watch. This is for sure a bad idea. I knew it. I could feel it too, but I was like, this is kind of confirming that. And one day we were, I slept over and I woke up in the morning and I was just chilling, like, I don't know, looking out the window, like spacing off. And she all of a sudden loses it on me. And I'm in like, nervous system's lit up. But I go, when that happens, I stay very calm. And I'm using nonviolent communication. Here's what objectively happened. And she's just spiraling. And I left and I was like, that feeling of, you just saw like a car accident feeling, like, oh my God. And yeah, then a couple of weeks went by and I broke up with her because she was so insane. And I think one of the main things is if someone's had trauma and they haven't dealt with it at all or even considered it or done any work, that's a no-go. That's at least for sure one of the rules. That's 100% no-go.
So back to the $1 million question, I would love to talk to a therapist and ask them, what do you say to that person? If a therapist is in a session with a person like that, and they know about the BPD, do they say, do not have children? Do not be in a relationship? I can't imagine that is what they
I don't
say.
think they would. And also it's not black and white. It's a spectrum of how intense is it? How severe is it? How much control do you have on it? Have you done the work? Are you letting it control you? So there's plenty of people that have BPD that can raise loving children because I'm sure they're able to tamper that down and do what needs to be done and step up for that child. And there's probably a lot that fucking can't. And then they just raise another little demon seed.
Yeah. So do you guys know anybody that is in a relationship that's working, where one of the people have a deep narcissistic personality disorder or bipolar BPD?
Not off the top of my head, but I don't pay much attention.
If they are in it, it's not a great experience.
Yeah.
For the individual in it, and they're just kind of seeing it through. But you don't look at the relationship and go, that's amazing. I would love to have that. And this girl, I don't think she had that. I think she just had deep trauma. It hit a trigger and she lost it, right? But I have been around with BPD, and it's almost like it flips, and then it's just, and you can't unflip it. Yeah. And they say things, because she never said anything horrible, but BPD is like trying to literally break you with words.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's different than someone just being kind of crazy from trauma. It's like it's scary.
And
it's a different thing.
It flips on a switch and you can't control it.
Yeah.
And once the rocket ship takes off, you're on the ride.
Yeah, and with one of my girlfriends, like, she knew that she had it. And I mean, I did everything. Like I hired coaches, I did research, I would track her episodes. Mm-hmm. I would like try different tactics. What happens is, my understanding of BPD, or at least the way that I perceive it, the difference between that and bipolar is it's a chemical thing that gets you going, where BPD is a trigger that sets that off. And what happens is the chaos inside of their mind exceeds their ability to handle it. So they're outside their frame, as you call it. When you're outside of your frame, what happens is the way that you perceive reality is, when you're inside your frame, you see things objectively, and then and then you determine them subjectively. This is what this is, and so here's how I feel about it. When it flips, here is how it flips to subjective first to objective.
Right. Here's how I feel about
it.
Then create
Therefore,
reality.
this is what this is, and there and I mean all of so many tactics. I was with one of these girls for 6 years, and the love of my life, and the thing is for me, with women like that, because I have experienced so much chaos through my autoimmune disease of being tortured by a faceless monster that you can't point at. It's like that's just the way my body was designed, as a kid, and all the also crazy decisions that I've made. Having someone that understands chaos, I connect with them much better. Whereas someone who grew up in a really safe, loving environment, never really has had any trauma.
Oh, I agree 100%.
I'm a little weird to them.
Yeah, me too. It makes me almost feel like a little like it's crawling my skin.
Right. And so like in determining like what type of woman is right for me, on one end, if you haven't experienced trauma, I feel like I'm not fully seen. But if you have experienced trauma, I'm also wild. So like my ability to handle chaos is very high. But if I bring them into that world, their capacity isn't mine. So when we're sharing life together, if I can handle the heat of 100 and they can handle it of 70, when we're cruising at 90, I'm cool, but they're freaking out. And so like this, as I came to Austin and I left the 2024, which was probably the darkest time that I had, because I was in business with a sociopath who on Tuesday got convicted to up to 20 years in federal prison for the $27 million that he schemed for a private equity
This Tuesday.
scam this Tuesday.
I might know the guy.
Yeah?
Oh.
I had a client that disappeared a couple months ago, and then I was told he got arrested and he was in federal prison and he hadn't been prosecuted fully yet, so I'd be curious.
Yeah, I want to be careful what I say
Yeah, this is
publicly
off camera conversation, but interesting.
No, I wasn't going to say any more than that.
Yeah.
Just like, yeah, we'll talk about it later.
Yeah, and I witnessed firsthand him scamming all these people and telling me that gaslighting me into believing that everything was above board. Like he showed me, all types of documents and that we were actually doing good in the world, that we were helping the little guy investor play the big boy game so we can actually bring them financial freedom. I mean, it was like a
that's what's scary about sociopaths. That's why like anytime like me and Tony meet new people, like I'm always like trying to like with Tony, like I don't know, like
you got to really suss them out, and even then you don't know for sure.
Yeah, it's like, and that's the problem with sociopaths, because they have the ability to feel an emotion without actually feeling the emotion.
Right.
Where humans, it's really hard to do that. Where they can just like go from like feeling nothing to like completely embodying happiness, joy. Where for us, it's like you can't just do that. So it fucks with your head. And then that's how you get fucking pulled into that crazy shit.
Yeah. And the spiral is like you try to reason about like, how could they do that?
Yeah,
and you're putting their actions into a reasonable mind, and it doesn't compute. So it gets your brain, if it doesn't make sense of something, will either disregard it or asphyxiate it, obsess about it. And that's how they get you. And what you don't understand is they don't have the feelings.
No.
And so like, again, are there some people that are born sociopathic? It's in their genes. And if so, then are they not born inherently evil? You see what I'm saying? And so like I watch this guy, people saying like, hey, my kid is getting leukemia treatment. Like I need this money, and see him prepare. Like this went on for 4 years. It ended up draining all of the money that I made from the sale of my business. Wow. And And just like the promises, like the money's coming. And just as I was about to dip, he'd throw me 20 G's, you know?
Yeah, they have a way of just keeping you right on the edge.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah,
and
it fucks with you so bad.
yeah. And like when I found out that he got that he said it, and that's when someone fucks me over, I just like, I want you to look me in the eyes and tell me you did it. Because then I feel like I've got closure. If you're going to fuck me, look me in the eyes while you do it.
Because then you get to see them.
Yeah.
And that's what they hide from everyone.
Yes. And so to know that he said guilty. In fact, we never even owned any of the companies we were selling pieces of, even though I saw financials. And it brought all of this stuff up for me. And again, like I've cleared it. I've forgiven it. I've moved on. I've allowed it to shape my discernment, which is a lot of why I'm in Austin. But then I remembered that my dream is to open up a retreat center in Costa Rica with the love of my life and employ my sister and homeschool my kids and my sister's kids, my future kids. I had that. I had a $3 million house. We put down a $150,000 deposit. Came with a boat. They're like, drive the boat, Spencer. This is your boat now. We broke bread. We had champagne. And when it came to the financing, which everyone said, hey, this is the easiest part, fucked me. For the next 2 years, like the stress was so bad that my spine broke. I was nearly paralyzed. And in the hospital, and then a year later, it happened again, and I prided myself in the ability to withstand any heat. And as a coach, I see myself as a crucible, a container of which metal, the most dense and hardest and most integritous material, can melt and become something new. But the pride of that gift actually allowed me to choose to continue to be abused. And so like these are like I'm coming here more with questions than I am with answers. I mean, there's things that I've learned, and it's like, when is the attitude of I can love you through anything wrong? You know? And with the last girl that I was with, as I tell you this, I mean, everyone's gonna be like, it's pretty obvious, Spencer. But again, like the concept of the story of Jesus and Mary Magdalene, how some say that she was a prostitute, and then she became like one of his most valuable disciples. I dated this girl. She's actually from Austin. She's a dancer, and I actually started dating her right before I was told that I was going to have a baby. So I actually had to break up with her. And she was very in touch with her spirituality and like seeking. And started dating her again, and it was going really well. And in fact, like my life had never been more balanced ever. Like I was on my shit. I was making money. Like I was in the greatest shape. Then we go to Burning Man. And I told her, like, we go to Burning Man, it's going to accelerate what's going on. So we're going to do this. I buy her a ticket. And I'm on the playa trying to get reception. And I'm like, you coming? She's like, yeah, I'm at the hotel. Oh, baby, I can't wait. I'm excited. The next day, she's like, oh, I ran into friends from high school. And I'm thinking, you don't have any friends. What are we talking about? She's like, I missed the bus. What? I'm like, all right, get on the bus tomorrow. She misses it again. I gotta go. Misses it again. She misses it for a third day. And I'm like, yo, I spent like 20 grand, like putting this together. This is supposed to bring us together. And finally, she's like, if you're going to stress me out, then I'm just not going to come. I'm like, just get here.
Classic gaslight.
Yeah. She shows up. Now, at Burning Man, you're not allowed to bring drugs. She shows up with 5 pounds of weed. And I'm like, where? First of all, like,
wait, what do you mean you're not allowed to bring drugs?
If there are federal marshals.
Oh yeah, you're not allowed to bring drugs.
Right. So,
but everybody brings drugs.
Everyone brings drugs, but not 5 pounds of fucking weed. I'm like, where did you get this?
And please don't store it with us.
Yeah, not at our camp.
I know, right?
You're like, bring an ounce or whatever, but like, Jesus Christ.
And so again, I'm asking questions and I'm seeing the way that she's functioning, and I'm like, where were you? Well, as I pull it out of her, it turns out she was in Lake Tahoe with another man. This is the first time I'm telling this story. With another man. I paid for her to go on vacation with another man, and he gets her all that weed and also Xanax, and some people are not great on Xanax. She's one of them. And the thing is like, we committed that like, Burning Man's going to be intense. We're going to do Burning Man. We're going to go back. We're going to integrate, and then we'll make a decision about our relationship. We'll have a checkpoint conversation. And I was like, show me your phone. I'm like, show me your phone. And I'm seeing pictures with her and him in a canoe. Like, I mean, just like, all of this stuff. And I'm like, she was freaking out. I think you're going to leave me. You're going to leave me. I said, nope. I said that I'm going to stick it out until we're done. Like, whatever it is, I stick around. And she said something interesting. She's like, I know you want me to say I'm sorry, but what if I don't feel bad? What if I'm not sorry? And like, I couldn't wrap my mind.
Noble of her to even say that, though, in a weird way.
Yeah. And it in a certain way, I respect that. Again, like, if you're going to call the cops, and you actually call, like, respect on the integrity. Well, we go back. I'm like, hey, I can forgive you for it. I send the guy a message. Like, I'm like, hey, I get it, right? You guys have been seeing each other, but like, we're in a committed relationship. So get one bite from the apple, but from now on, like, respect the relationship. So time goes on, and we share each other's location. She's back in Monterey, and I'm like, why are you going to the airport? I see her going to the airport, and then goes to a hotel for like 6 hours. Again. I forgive it again.
Damn.
Here's the thing. Like, I'm not insecure. And so like the part is like, well, you don't love me as much as him. Like that. I don't have that. But I also understand a 26-year-old stripper, former stripper. She said she was done with it. And for us being together, she wasn't dancing. She was with me. And very talented. I got videos. It was amazing. And so so me and her were doing a lot of like personal development. We really got in sync. And for like 2 months, guys, like relationship check-ins on Sunday, we would do precise language on Tuesdays. We'd have date nights on Thursdays. I was in the zone, and like, I've never been so balanced in my life. It was amazing. And the sex was incredible. And but she kept talking shit about me to her mom. I'm like, are you sharing that like you've been seeking this spiritual realm for a while, and you're doing better than ever? Well, one night, yeah, she keeps talking shit to her mom about it. Her mom's like, come home. Well, one night, she's depressed, pissed off that she's got to go to the grocery store to pick up groceries so our chef can cook food for the week.
Hard life.
I know. And so she comes back and she's like, hey, I was a little bit of a bitch. Like, I don't know why I'm complaining. So like, we have a few drinks. We go out. We have a few more drinks. Having a great time. We come back. We make love. It was incredible. Incredible. She passes out. She wakes up, and she's talking shit about me again to her mom. Like, oh, Spencer's making me go grocery shopping. And her mom's like, you've had enough with that. Come home. I'm like, are you fucking serious? Like, we just had this conversation. You gotta be fucking kidding me. I'm like, look, if you want to go, just go. And she said, no. And I'm like, I'm going to send a text to your dad, because me and her dad would text, because like, he knows. And I'm like, I'm going to tell him, like, get you a ticket to come home, like, pick you up. Like, I'm like, you need help. Like, you need help. She's like, don't text my dad. Don't text my dad. She ends up going crazy, grabbing my hair. She's butt naked too. And I'm naked. We just finished making love. ripping my hair, punching my face, and trying to grab my phone. The phone's gone at this point. And so she's like going crazy on me. And so like I'm trying to pull her hair from my hand, or from her hand, and I'm like pushing like pressure points for her to open. This chick is a gymnast. Like, she's strong as shit. And so I'm like getting her in a a full Nelson, if that's what it's called, like, get her hands up so she can't hurt me. I'm like, are you going to stop being violent? Again, we're naked wrestling like Romans. And she's like, yes. Like, okay, let her go. Lunge at me again. Just punching me in the face, ripping out my hair. And finally, like I run out of there. And so I'm trying to like lock the door from the outside, of just like, she needs to, like, first of all, not be near me because she won't stop the fighting. And she's pulling the door open, finally gets out, goes into the kitchen. I didn't think too far ahead this time, and pulls out knives, 2 of them, and is going to stab me. And I have years of martial arts training. And so I again, like, I like subdue her. I get behind her and just like getting her to drop the weapons, and finally get her to drop the weapons. And then she goes into the office area, picks up my computer, boom, picks up my camera, boom, starts throwing all of it out. So like, she gets out of the house and she goes into the casita. I leave. I call my sister. I call 911, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm like, she's trying to kill me. I don't know what to do. So she goes into the casita. Here's where I made my mistake. And I put a lock on the outside of the door so she can't come out and kill me. Like, what was I supposed to do? Well, she, like, I can remember this vividly. She pulls the curtains and I could see her like with a knife, and she's in there destroying everything. My other computer, my other screen, my 12 years, 1,500 pages back in front of my journals, ripped, and just pouring mouthwash over everything. And so then this is the point that I leave. So I leave, and I'm like trying to call the cops. I'm like, I need help. Like, there's nothing more that I can do. Like, I'm not going to knock this chick out. You know what I mean? And I come back, and she's laying on the ground, and there's blood everywhere. She's in a robe. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, did she kill herself? Like, fuck. And what happened is to get the lock out, there was a pane of glass. So she knocked it out and tried to do this and like cut her like gaping wounds. And so I go and I pull I'm seeing like where she's hurt, and I pull the belt off of the robe, and I create a tourniquet, and she's like, you tried to kill me. You tried to kill me. And so I'm like, no. And I'm like, we got to get you to the hospital. We got to get you. So I call an Uber. It's 3 a.m. Call an Uber. Somehow an Uber comes. Get her to the public hospital. This is Costa Rica, so this is not a great place. And she's in there, and she's like, you tried to kill me. You, again, the gaslighting, like of this. And I'm like, I've called the police. I'm like, you can tell them what you think happened here. And I'm like, and I will tell them what happened. Like, again, darkness hates light. It hates truth. So it's like, get to the truth as fast as you can and get witnesses. And as they stitch her up, as the police come, I'm like, I want to tell you what happened. I've got some videos of it. I tell them the whole story. She sneaks out and runs to the ocean. And I said to the police, I'm like, I don't know what's like, please find her. Please find her. Like, so I'm sitting there, the cops leave. I don't have a ride home. It's freezing cold. It's raining. I'm wearing just pants, blood all over me. And I get to my house, and the house, I could guess that she was still bleeding. There's blood smeared everywhere. She stole my iPad, stole my phone, stole my wallet, stole my nice luggage, and took off. and sends me a message like, can I come stay with you tonight? I'm like, no. Goes to a hotel, running my card.
How did she send you a message?
She texted me.
On your phone that she stole?
She didn't steal my phone. She stole my iPad.
Oh.
My iPad, my Apple Watch, my credit cards, my wallet. And then she I'm like, you did like $10,000 worth of damage, like in my home, like you destroyed like everything. And then she flies to Miami. I cancel my car at this point. Like, hey, like it's just someone's, comes back to Austin and is hanging out at the strip club. And like, I try giving her a call because I'm pretty sure she was blackout drunk. And then she like came to like in the middle of it. So she just found herself like in a fight and a guy answers her phone. So now she's like with a guy. And I was calling to tell her like, hey, I understand like where you're coming from. And I'm like, but stop telling me that I tried to kill you. I'm like, so let me get this straight. I tried to kill you. We fought for 90 minutes and I couldn't finish the job. I'm almost more insulted to think that I couldn't kick your ass in that. And she's like, I've got bruises on my wrist. I'm like, I was pressing on your wrist to drop the knives. And so she has like, it's been weird the way that my mind wants to close the loop by like forgiving her and like talking it out. I even said to her one time, like, hey, would you see a therapist with me? Not to like reconcile the relationship, just to reconcile the situation. And at some point, like, I was like, absolutely not. So she comes to Austin here and there, and the one strip club has a spotlight. It's almost like a bat signal that like gives me the shivers every time I see it. And at that point, I'm like, after the FBI guy and after this, I'm like, none of this was a surprise to me. I've seen all of this before. And the thing is like, when you're in a situation, this is like for anyone that's listening to this that has been in a situation like this, like here is what I've learned and here's what I've changed. It's one of two things you can do. You can either isolate and like be cold and no longer and let it change who you are, or you can make better decisions and understand that boundaries are a form of love. And so it's like I can still love you, but from a distance, and like that is the way to still love without being dark about it, but also like being in isolation where someone's gaslighting you or this happening, you don't speak up. When you have a community of people around you and you share about your experiences, you talk about your relationship, your community can like forewarn you. And like that was the downside of me being in Costa Rica is I was isolated. Yeah. And so like I suffered in silence.
And no group of men to talk to.
No group of men. And so like what I'm saying, I just helped a friend through this who the woman was acting crazy. And within 48 hours, I was like, get out of your house. Here's what's going to happen. She's going to accuse you of some shit that didn't happen. She's going to call the cops. All of that happened. Because monsters are mechanisms that don't have free will. They have to behave the same way. So there's these patterns that you can see that once they're there, like then you have to do what's right, which brings back to the question, like, is it right to say you don't deserve my love? And so like in coming to Austin, it's like, it's a beautiful story if you could say, hey, she used to be a dancer and she met this guy and now, she has a loving relationship with God and what a beautiful story to tell on stage. Like, no, like I've retired from that. And the reason I want to share that story, which I haven't shared with anyone before, and I'd share everything, is because to fight evil, you need light. And when you speak up, it creates light for the darkness to be seen. And that's what it runs from. And so like people that are in these type of relationships, it is like, just like speak up. Like speak up. Don't suffer in silence. Be a tattletale. And if I would have been in like the community that I've built here now, while I was in the sociopathic private equity scam and the narcissistic stripper deal, I just saved myself like a lot of heartache. And to the original point, like are some people like inherently evil? It's a conversation that could go on forever, but like what do you do about it? It's like boundaries are a form of love. And I still don't have an answer to like at scale. Do we tell them that they're not worthy of a relationship? I don't know.
I don't think you have to figure it out.
No.
Yeah, it's a really good thought experiment, but also not our job to solve that problem.
One of my tips is the way I've done it after I've dated a couple girls who they flipped on me. I've dated a lot of amazing girls, but there was one or two I was like, whoa, you just totally tricked the shit out of me. Now I have a protocol. I go slow, which is not my nature because I'm impulsive and, ADHD. I'm like, in it. Dopamine, let's go 1,000%. Always turned out bad. So I intentionally try to slow my roll, and then I bring that individual around people that are like my trusted advisors. And I see what they see, and I just like, they have like ultimate veto power. So like if I bring the girl around a couple times and around my sister, I just observe and I get feedback from her without prying, see what she says. But if Tony or my sister, like there's people in like just a few people that are like, no, then I'll just be like, I could be madly in love with her, but I'll just be like, he sees something I don't, I'm just pulling the cord. And I don't need to figure it out beyond that at all. And then if someone's like, I don't know, but if I put them in these situations to spot stuff that I may not be able to see because I'm emotional about it, and then going slow so you can still have more of those. And I don't have a lot of family left, so I'd only have a few people, but I think everybody, if you can, like a group like you're talking about, or have, if it's family or whatever, put them slowly in these situations. Their true nature will eventually come ahead. Like usually with guys, their moms are very observant of a female. So one of the best things you can do is bring her around because your mom will be able to sniff out intuitively. Something about her I don't like. If you have a good relationship with her, your mom might be a cunt. She might not want you to date any girls. Sure. So she might be giving you horrible advice. So like, that's why it's good to have good female, at least one good female friend who's just going to be straight with you. Because even guys could miss something and be like, dude, she's dope. And you're like, yeah, she's dope. And then the chick's like, I don't know. I'm telling you,
you need to see it from all angles. You need a buddy and you need a good, like close girlfriend and some kind of like parent like figure.
The tough part is business though. Like, where do you bring that individual to suss that out?
Yeah.
That's tricky.
Probably similar. Probably like your close friend of advisors, but like it's tougher.
Yeah, you bring like you're going to potentially even if you're just going to do a deal or an agreement, even if it's a short period, but say it's a big deal, like how do you suss? I guess you just have to be have to have points of contact, a network in that area that can give you like, is this guy that's done business? I don't know. Yeah, that's just a little more tricky because you can't just bring him over for dinner and your sister's like, yeah, he's great.
Yeah,
right. Yeah. Or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, with business, it's the same thing about like going slow. So it's like let's do a 30-day engagement first, then we'll do a 90-day engagement. Someone comes around and starts talking about equity deals right off the bat, like little bit sus, right? And the I haven't done this yet, but like getting references of like, who else have you worked with? And then the last part is like really, really knowing your vision of your business and the mission of it. And even if it's off by 10%, this is where I made a mistake. It's like, wow, this is like really aligned, but like not completely, but I'll get to my financial goals in 1 year as opposed to 5 years.
Hot.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, she's so hot.
Yeah.
She's kind of a bitch, but I'm going to date her anyways.
It's the same thing. So that's what I've done in business.
No, it totally makes sense. I'm curious, what are you doing now with, like, because we talked to you last time, like, what have you been up to? Like, you're creating shit all the time. You've created all these different things in the past. What are you doing now that you got going on? Because I want people to know, like, yeah, share that.
Yeah. So the program my company is called Brain Jam, and the mission of that is really to be bringing great minds together to positively impact the world by scaling wisdom and good hearts and in Christ consciousness. So that's the mission. So I built a program called Execute, where I've created a value system and an execution ecosystem for founders that have ADHD, for them to be able to like work in a linear way to like get shit done. So at the end of the day, like, everyone's got a dream. Strategy's free now that we've got AI. And so the only thing standing between you and your goals is execution. And so helping founders and their teams execute through, you know, operational frameworks and communication methods and doing things transparently. And then I've also been putting together what I call brain jams. This is like my events that I do. Every Wednesday we do a power lunch. It's online. Sometimes people come over, but it's just a time for entrepreneurs that actually have lunch. It's always on your calendar, but you never take it. And just a time for us to do this, right? Every Friday, I have entrepreneurs over for my co-work brain jam. So I built my house to be a co-work space, and people come by, and that's where we jam on business, we jam on life, and we support each other in the business, and also just being the energy. And then my deal flow brain jams, where we are facilitating connections and collaborations for each other. And so I invite a bunch of entrepreneurs over, and like, you're not allowed to like pitch your product, but you're pitching yourselves so we can connect you with good people, so we can scale through relationships. And then actually, you know, I was talking about doing the medicine journeys and like the kind of like the vision planning or the vision quests. And I'm doing my first one the weekend of December 13th, 14th, where I'm bringing in entrepreneurs and incorporating, medicines with vision, so we can align our values and our goals for our lives and our companies for the next year. So it's really been about building community and connecting people, and also building a value and ecosystem of like, we get shit done. We don't just talk about, hey, we should do a podcast sometime. It's like, or like, oh, hey, I should come to your next set. You know, we should build out this product. It's like, no, like let's actually follow through. There's a lot of talking, you know, and so that's been starting to scale really well in working with some really great companies and building a community. So, you know, when a community is based on the value of integrity, your intentions, your commitments, your actions, all being the same thing, then you're qualified by your heart, your character. Like, I really think that is the, you know, foundation of building what this world is becoming next, which is going to be, I really see it as a bunch of micronations really getting together and collaborating. And so that's been my mission for the past 15 years. And one thing that I'm really proud of this year is like, after I'm like, okay, no more fascination with the devil, because all those stories, I had a woman say to me, she's like, oh, she was a stripper. She had a tattoo of a dragon that was pointing towards her ass. Like, oh, I don't feel bad for you. I didn't ask for your empathy. Nowhere in this story am I looking for anyone to. I made my choices. I knew what I was doing.
Also, just real quick, there's a ton of girls who dance, or, you know, they've had hard lives or whatever. They come from like what people might judge them to be, whatever. Like, she's like, oh, she probably associated like, oh, it makes sense that she was crazy. It's like, no, there's a lot of amazing, sweet, incredible human beings that are totally fine. It may be a little off, but not like that. That's
right.
That's totally different,
for sure,
to associate that. So like, that's crazy of her to say, and it's just like, that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, and point being, it is like, did I get what was coming from me? Absolutely. And like, there's a part of me that it's like, I will love you through anything. And building that muscle to love anyone through anything is righteous. It is noble. And it can get to a point where it's damaging and you've got to put yourself first. And, the reason for moving to Austin is so that I can build the community and we can have conversations like this, because the reason I decided to share this, although I didn't want to, and I was nervous coming here, is there are a lot of people, a lot of men, but people in general that suffer like this. Mm-hmm. And because as an entrepreneur, you're often like the guy, right? We don't want to speak up because what will people think? Will they lose faith in me? Will they lose faith in my leadership? And through conversation and community, like, we can better navigate through the incredible complex circumstances of being alive,
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate you sharing all that, because I imagine you went through a lot of the emotions just now through everything you experienced, which is heavy.
Yeah.
That's what they say with like therapy. You can kind of re-traumatize, because therapists will try to make them go through stuff over and over again. But you were willing and wanted to, so there's that strength behind it, but it's still not easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's great. So yeah, thank you for sharing all that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys giving me like the space as like two other humans, and also, the platform to to do it. And as soon as we've known each other for a while, and we met in the last podcast, I wanted a scenario where it felt right, and I really believe, like, I was in Costa Rica after I sold my business. I was there with my family. I was there with at the time, the love of my life. And it was like, I did it. Like, I am done. Build the retreat center, have people come in for conscious creation and healing. And, through the tribulations of the past 4 years, I felt like there's a message and a ministry that needs to be more potent. And so, although I plan on having homes in both places, I really wanted to come to Austin and play a leadership role and share that it's okay to suffer publicly. There's no shame in it, and if I can come on here and talk like I'm all smart and shit, and share that, hey, I still suffer, maybe that will inspire other people to be like, hey, I can share this without fearing that others will lose faith in me.
Also, because you've done amazing things at high levels, so I can imagine it can also be hard to share, like, there's this other thing that just was fucking insane, and I've also done all this wild shit. That's got to be even harder to share, like a super high level athlete or music artist or whatever, and then to be able to be like, but this other thing, I've had some insane experiences. You want to just not. It's so easy to not want to share that. Where if you haven't done a lot of shit, you're like, oh, let me tell you about this crazy girl. Yeah. It doesn't really change a perception. So it's like, but you're just being like, here it all is. And so hopefully inspiring people that are probably suffering, that are doing amazing shit, to be like, dude, you got to talk about it.
Yeah.
Like, just, you got to let the ego go and just talk about it. And the more we talk about it, the more people, and then we don't all get hurt and be more safe and just all that.
Yeah. And like, let's not normalize sociopaths and narcissists, but let's normalize the discussing the situations that we're in. And again, like, this conversation, what I want to get out of this is like, how can I still be a loving man in these circumstances, although there are people that may inherently be evil? Like, how can I still show up in love, versus me being like, narcissists don't deserve relationships. They don't deserve to procreate. Push, like fuck these people. Like no, like how can we still love and draw boundaries? And I guess that's just an ongoing conversation that I really wanted to open up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think just to end with this, I think you just have to determine for yourself that how you can have that relationship, and it's just definitely not intimacy, and you just have to set those boundaries and recognize it sooner and just not figure it out beyond that.
Yeah, maybe you can't, because what works on a small scale doesn't work on the big scale. And just like with economics, like an economist can know exactly what a group of people will do, but you'll never know what one individual person will do. And so I think there's a gap between an individual and a group, and you can't apply the same rules to both. It's quantum. You can apply one rules on the big, but you go small enough, the rules are completely different. So maybe there is no answer to this question. And but I love the conversation, and I'm glad you started to open it up.
No, totally. And I think too that I forgot my thought.
Perfect.
Great place to close out.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, Spencer, thanks so much for coming for round 2, man. Every episode gets better and better, so I'm excited to see what 3, 4, 5, and 6 are like.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Oh yeah, real quick. I was going to say, I think it's also part of like you as the individual, and I'm talking about myself, knowing that for some reason energetically, no matter what work I do, I attract certain things in certain situations, whether people or things. And so I just have to be aware of that. Like people who like some people can do coke and they can do it and leave it alone. Some people just fucking get addicted to it. So it's like, there's certain types of women I'm just not allowed to touch.
Yeah.
Because it's always going to go fucking crazy.
Totally.
And I just got to learn that. Like some people, like I just can't touch booze. I'm fucking in it. Right. So I think that's like, I think all guys need to think about that too. It's like, you may really like that kind of woman, but you just are not, it's not good for you.
You have to know your own individual parameters.
Yeah. And that's the reason that I've voluntarily not dated and been celibate for the past 7 months is I need time to redefine what that is. Because exactly what you said is the reason I don't have an Xbox. I know.
You see, yeah, exactly.
I know.
And I haven't seriously dated in like a couple years because I'm trying to think more like, what is it that that would like actually be good for me and long term.
Yeah.
And to be able to even assess that out. And I'm not even really sure yet. So I'm not going to engage with something and then get myself back into like some kind of chaos.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sweet.
Awesome.
Thank you, Spencer.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.